Hello everyone, and welcome to 2021, where the stupidity starts. Again, everyone's losing their minds. But why lose your minds over things that don't matter, when you can lose your minds over something fun, like stupid movies? I know a few days early, and I took off because I need that once in a while, because whether you think I'm joking or not, the truth is, dumb movies really do get on my nerves. Like, the tension and stress that they cause when I watch them is actually a real thing that I suffer from. It gives me a headache, it makes me feel toxic and tainted afterwards, and I need to cleanse. Like, one of my most horrific, intolerable, anxiety-inducing situations is when I know I'm gonna have to watch a dumb movie, even if it's just for an hour and 20 minutes. I don't start to hyperventilate, but that's what it feels like. But I figured a dumb movie, like the one I covered in the trailer I did before with Bruce Willis in it, who I guess takes these roles because everyone decided to discriminate against him because of his political views, just a guess, was in order. So let's take a look at 2020's Breach. Saban Films. I have never heard of that company in all my life. By Almost Never Films. What the frick? Are they trying to... Almost never what? Films that were almost never made because they shouldn't have been? Let me tell you, just going into this just as a warning, just in case you guys are thinking about watching this and you're like, you know what, I don't want spoilers, and you know, most people that watch these videos don't care. But I will tell you, just be aware that, just don't go in it with much expectation if you're gonna watch it before watching this review. It's secret. They plan their escape. You know, this looks a lot like 2020. I know people are like, oh my god, the Capitol situation. Do people have selective memory? Where were they the entire summer when all of this was going on? When things were actually burning and people were being preyed on? This looks just like how that looked. But the news wasn't all over it, so it didn't happen. So as I said, after many years of unrest, society has reached a breaking point. Huh. Interesting. I guess our existence right now is a prequel to this movie. If anyone is in the future living in a utopia, well then, disregard this because, you know, good for you. Hopefully you live in a time where everyone can have their own opinions again without people being triggered. Or people can settle things without losing their shit. Or you don't have a corrupt government.
You better shut your mouth or I'm gonna fuck it.
Okay, government, whatever you say.
Why is she doing that?
Oh my god, stop doing that shit!
It hurts, bitch!
It's a curious cat.
So apparently humans decide to just like off each other and off everything. They died from the plague that spread. Almost everyone is dead. Now we see the early stages of people panicking as others are chosen to go to another planet called New Earth. These two, these lovers, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever they are, the girl is pregnant, make their way to the ship, which can also travel like super fast because we have the technology then to do that. They leave the Earth behind in ruins while everybody else there dies, never to see it again. She believes because she got separated from her boyfriend when they were on the ground that he is gone. Understandably, he is the father of the baby. She's really in love with this guy. Yet for some reason, whenever this girl loses someone that she loves or you think that she loves, this is how she cries.
The other passengers are already in cryo.
Maybe it's just me, but if I lost my boyfriend or my father or my husband, like, I wouldn't just be crying away so I don't mess up my mascara. I would be bawling and hysterical. She's like, I'm sorry, how do I get off the ship? I'd be like, bitch, move! Let me get off! Because I am not leaving the person I love behind. It's already clear afterwards that she's meant to be on the ship. Her dad is the captain of the ship. So it's not like she's trying not to bring attention to herself at this point. If her lover, who is a stowaway, and stowaways get killed on sight, which is what they say later on, is not on the ship. It's just, so many things in this movie don't make sense. And yeah, this is one of the least problems that this movie has. Don't worry, the adventure gets even more tantalizing.
Hi, sir. I'm, Noah.
Let me guess. You are the dead man walking. Knocked up my unmarried daughter and made her drop out of West Point.
No, this is not. This man helped us. He helped us get on the ship.
I think fathers are so adorable when they're protective of their daughters. But goddamn, the woman needs some accountability too. It's not like she was all innocent in the matter. The poor man didn't make her do anything. It's not like she's 12. Also, why is the daughter so freaking stiff with her dad? Like, it's so freaking weird. She's a horrible actress. I don't know what else she plays in, but people in this movie don't seem to be doing very well. And I know this guy too, the captain of the ship or whoever he is, he's not an awful actor. He's not a great actor either, but geez, everyone's so stiff in this, and it just gets worse.
I guess I owe you.
No, sir.
Glad you're safe. All right.
Jesus Christ. She's so freaking stiff, it's making me mad. And also, was that a jump cut? Okay, YouTubers do jump cuts. Why are you jump cutting this one scene? It doesn't need to be... Okay, maybe that's just me. Let's look back at that.
Glad you're safe.
Mwah. Cut. Why did you cut that? Oh my god, this movie is not doing well already. Jesus, between the bad acting and the God almighty Jesus, I knew it was gonna be bad, but I didn't think it was gonna be like a movie that was trying to be good and failing at it. One thing I don't understand, even if this movie is kind of low budget or whatnot, why does everything look like this? This is a room that they're walking into, correct? Usually other movies try to do a good job of making things look more sci-fi-y. This scene here just looks like PlayStation 1, like early PC with the bubble, remember the bubble monitors the computers that use dial-up? Like, that's what these look like. I thought it was some kind of virtual world they were going into, and I'm like, no, this is an actual room that they're in. Take a look. They're walking into it. Why is everything so freaking low res? It's not even blurred. It's just... Is it just me? I'm so confused as to what I'm looking at. Is it like a paper cardboard cutout that they have? And they're just like, you know what? We don't have the money to computer generate a room or whatever, or build a set, so just put a cardboard cutout and you guys walk towards it to make it look like you're walking into a room. And then right as they're walking, before they hit into the cardboard wall, they cut to her already being in the room. God almighty. What did they do? Oh my god, dude. Like, this for... You know what? I can respect those dumb Movie Monday movies because at least they put it forward. And even though their CGI is really bad sometimes, at least they make the effort to make things kind of sort of look like people are there. Shame. Shame that a sci-fi or asylum movie looks better than this shit. Holy crap, man. And geez, the woman, the girl is so unlikable. Like, I want to like her, but she's so stiff. She's worse than Kirsten Stewart. The guy that she's with tries his best to do with what he has, but he's not good either. And he's definitely not good enough to carry this movie. And neither is Bruce Willis, who was like barely in this movie until later on. All he literally does is sit down, drink beer, try to look as like Western as possible. I don't know what's going on with his character. Maybe that's just how he is. Maybe he's not acting. He just has to look cool, do some shitty dialogue takes. It's like they superimposed Bruce Willis into this movie and he does not fit at all. So we find out this guy hacked his way onto the ship. He's good with computers and whatnot. Man, Star Wars 1 had better graphics than that ship. Gotta have my makeup on while I'm sleeping. You're gonna have your makeup on for... You're going into cryo sleep. She's pregnant too. You're gonna have your makeup on for that entire time for 6 months. Even if cryo preserves your skin, I would not leave makeup on for that long. It is way too close to your skin. I don't know, dude. For 6 months, having makeup on, that can't be good. But then again, let's just give a sin off for that, you know, cause it's cryo, it may preserve everything. Notice how in most shots, they try not to show her stomach. That is very small right now. So I was trying to get an idea of how pregnant she was, because usually when you have pregnant women in these movies, they use them as props later on so their water can break or they can be in labor conveniently for the plot so things are more dramatized.
Better shut your mouth or I'm gonna fuck it.
Hi. First jump. Just a little friendly advice. Just get the fuck out of my seat. Come on.
Oh my god, this entire movie, Bruce Willis is just dogging on this guy.
2, 1. Hyperspeed commence.
Why did they have to show that little core reactor thing? Oh, because it's going to be important later on in the movie. You know, other movies have successfully done similar things, and they didn't have to do that. There's no need for you to say, look guys, you see this thing right here that we're focusing on right now? It's going to be important later. This is the thing that's responsible for the hyperspeed. It's going to be important later. Just remember that, guys. No, it actually works a bit better when something happens later and you have to go down into that particular part of the ship and it's revealed to you that that's what the thing looks like. There really wasn't any need for them to do a close-up of that. That's just me. Might just be my opinion. I do like space movies because you get to see a lot of space, but most of what you do see here are just like still photos.
He gets to see.
Oh, I don't know, Admiral. I guess Clay just couldn't cope with leaving Earth.
Oh, it's that guy. He's gonna be a bad guy, but we already know he is because the trailer spoiled that for everyone. I know, right? Anyway, while they're all having lunch, some guy is brought in and he is found out to be a stowaway. It has already been said at this point, or actually before this point, that stowaways would be killed immediately. This guy's still walking. But no matter, the captain left old villain face back there in charge to take care of situations like this. And he makes it known.
Stowaway, sir.
Ow!
What the fuck was that? Yo, what was that? I don't know, to me it sounded like a frickin' sneeze. Oh my god. Oh shit. How do people take this guy seriously? I'd be on the floor dying.
Ow! Ow! Oh. This
is Sparta!
This guy's head looks like it's not finished rendering. I can say that because I got a really small head too. But you have this big, strong face in the front and then he turns around and then it's just like not done. I feel like it's probably not the best haircut for him. Just my opinion. Like me personally, I look better with bangs or with the side part. That mushroom and side shave thing that some girls have going on, that's not me. That makes me look like a frickin' doofus. This guy has a great face, but the hairstyle that he has right now should not be looking like a candle wick.
This is what happens to stowaways, fuck-ups, and anyone plotting against the Admiral.
I'm sorry. Does it hurt to say that? Like, why is he can't scream? I understand they have to do that to look, I guess, intimidating, but it just makes him sound like a little 4-year-old that's trying to be big. You don't need to yell, sir. I mean, I know you want people to hear you, but, you know, reverberation in a closed room like this, people can hear you if you just speak up. You don't have to be yelling at the top of your very weak lungs. Just check it out. This is how you do intimidation.
Rick, why don't you take your axe? Cut your son's left arm off, right on that line. Yeah, I know. You're gonna have to process that for a second.
So with all that and saying that stowaways get killed as soon as they're found, he just tells his soldiers to take him away. They're probably just gonna throw him out the airlock or something. But you see, why make a big deal about saying,
this is what happens to stowaways.
Just for you to then say, all right, boys, take him away. Nobody sees what happens to him. I mean, I guess they're just gonna throw him out the airlock. But if you're going to make that grandiose speech saying this is what happens, you have to, like Negan, demonstrate what happens. From what I understand, they're in a precarious situation because there are people who would try to plot against them and take down the whole ship. So it would make sense for you to discourage the others by doing what they do. In Snowpiercer, they take one person in front of all the others and stick their arm outside of the train in freezing temperatures like below 100-something degrees Fahrenheit so that they can lose their arm immediately. People watch them die in front of their faces to discourage anybody else from rebelling. It's what they use in war times. It's what they even use in Hunger Games. Yes, it's barbaric, but there's a reason why people use it against their enemies. It's the reason why Vlad the Impaler impales a whole bunch of people outside his house. So anybody who thinks they have the audacity to try and take him out, just be aware that a whole bunch of these other people tried to do that, and this is what happened to him. The most effective way of beating your enemy is psychological. Actually, that's like 80% of it. I like how I sound like Charisma on Command now. How convenient is it to kill someone while you're on a spaceship? And I swear to God, nothing else really happens in this movie. The kid is trying to survive, a few men go off by themselves, and remember the thing? Yeah, well, basically the same thing happens here. Some alien is on the ship and ends up going in this guy's beer. I don't know if it can make itself intangible or spirit-like, but this guy drinks it, feels that something was in his beer. Now you can argue and say, oh, he was already drunk, that's probably why that happened. Yeah, okay, drunk or not, you can feel some big ass slimy thing going down your throat.
Okay.
You can also, like, how big of a gulp do you take when you're drinking? He even feels like, oh, there's something probably in my mouth and it just slipped down my throat. That was weird. Oh, well. Really? Really? I mean, do you regularly have big, thick, cylindrical creatures or slimy things sliding down your throat on a regular basis? Maybe this guy is packed with a whole bunch of phlegm, because that makes absolutely no sense. A better explanation is if this creature somehow administered some kind of anesthetic so he didn't feel when it was biting into his skin and working its way inside his body. Just the way I would have written things. They also repeatedly show these moxicell things. It's a cleaning agent. Apparently, it is very concentrated, and it eats through things just like alien. I just realized what they just did. So they're trying to make this like some other version of Alien or their version of Alien, or kind of like the same story. Let's admit it is kind of the same story as Alien, but the alien can't spit acid blood. So in this one they use the corrosive acid to kill the alien instead of it coming from the alien. You feel me?
You feel me?
This will be important later.
Oh God, oh man.
People start acting fishy around the ship. The guy that drank the beer starts freaking out. Then he's fine, but then he explodes. The captain, or the one in standing, tells this guy to look out for anything strange. Of course, the guy's noticed something strange, but he doesn't say anything because he doesn't want to snitch on people. Good man. But there are some weird behaviors. He thinks that Bruce Willis and his crew are a part of the rebellion. Oh, by the way, the rebellion, of course, they have to have antagonists that are human here, which, like, makes no sense because it would have been so much more interesting if they just made this about aliens, but that's just me. The rebellion are people that just want to blow up the ship. Why did you get on it in the first place? Oh, because they don't believe humans deserve another start. They think it's their will, or some god's will, or something, to kill all the humans trying to go to another planet because they don't want them to screw that planet up too. Bitch, there's like a million different planets in the freaking universe. Not even a million. There's cajillions or sickatillions. Like, that's not a word, but is it though? So vindictive, and like, what people would be suicidal enough to want to do this? It doesn't make any sense. But they need a reason, which didn't really play into anything. It just ended up being nothing, but oh well. Turns out that Bruce Willis and his crew are just making moonshine. It's totally fine. This guy was overreacting for no reason. They make him drink some so that he doesn't want to get in trouble either. If that was really my job to sell people out, I wouldn't do that. I would mind my own business. But if it was my job to do that, well, then again, they want to torpedo the ship. So yeah, it would behoove him to mention weird behavior. I would drink the moonshine and then be like, all right, thanks for the moonshine, and still telling him. But in this case, I guess he's not a good man, because you do want to snitch in this case, because, you know, you don't say anything, and everyone on the ship dies, including your pregnant girlfriend. Later on, they find out what happened to one of the crew members, another one's missing. One of the members of their crew, the drunk girl, went off to go sleep with someone in her drunkenness, because, you know, when you're drunk, that's what you do, and got her head bashed in by one of the guys, and it turns into an Among Us situation, because now these aliens, or whatever this thing is, goo, who knows, is using people's bodies to do what exactly? Capsize the ship? You wouldn't capsize because they're not in the sea, but you know what I mean. Drive the ship into a planet.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
That's not Blue anymore. Blue's gone. The alien has taken over their bodies. They don't even look interesting. They just look like frickin' discount Arnold Schwarzenegger. This guy looks like he got sick off of eating some severe witchcraftian poom poom juice. Like, come on, dude, wipe your lips. Not being himself, he attacks everyone. Now they have to quarantine everyone in their bedrooms until they find out what the hell's going on, because clearly, if that guy wasn't himself, then it's possible other people aren't themselves either. You can trust no one who looks like basically themselves. Well, it is them. It's just not them anymore. This guy conveniently falls asleep with both the pictures on the outside displayed perfectly so that Bruce Willis can see that not only is a girlfriend, but she's pregnant. This no doubt will make him want to sacrifice himself later to save them. They do an autopsy and figure out that the guy is not only not human anymore, but he's not even carbon-based anymore. It's an alien or something that people brought on the ship. And this guy is the one who did it. Why? Because he's part of the rebellion. Part of the people who are like, yeah, we don't want you going to another planet. So you bring an alien on board from God knows where that's now trying to crash this ship into that planet. So you're going to end up destroying the very planet that you claimed you were wanting to save from humans. Okay, great logic. Mind you, up until this point, we've not seen one alien. We've seen people with disgusting makeup, but we've not seen an alien at all. Not even a hint of it. The only thing we've seen alien-like is a slug, which isn't really an alien design. Now a whole bunch of people are basically walkers. That's what this is, the Walking Dead in space. Remember this it'll do, Hickey? Remember when I said it was be important later? Okay, so this guy's lying down underneath this other guy. He sprays highly corrosive acid on that guy's face, and there's no drip back into his face while he's on the ground. Does gravity not work on this ship? I mean, clearly, these people are standing up, and they have gravity on the ship, or some simulation of it. But no, all convenient-like with just this immense, big-ass balls plot armor I've ever seen. No splash, no splish, nothing. It melts the entire body into nothingness. I was just wondering, he just gave like a few splashes of the thing and it eradicated the entire body. But then again, it did change the genetic makeup of the human, so he just looks human, but he's not exactly human. I guess it'd be the equivalent of putting salt on a snail. The whole thing shrivels up when you do that. Just remembering I did it as an experiment, I feel horrible, like really horrible. Because people are like, salt kills snails. I'm like, it does? No, it doesn't. Let me season this bitch. Put it on the snail. The snail's like,
Get inside! I know how to kill it!
so I know I am skipping past a lot here because this movie is unbearable. Trust me. I'm gonna just give a lowdown for you guys. So you don't, if you want to watch yourselves, go ahead and be brave. But they wake up the captain. The aliens apparently, or the people infected with the aliens, were trying to take over. And the guy that was cutting through the cabin, he was cutting to get to the captain so he can infect him because you need the captain's approval to touch that nuclear thing that we saw in the beginning. Remember that big red thing that we saw in the beginning?
50% of passengers.
Yeah, I said that would be important later. That's what they're trying to get to so that they can make the ship go faster so they can crash it in the planet that the humans intend to be on so that they can infect the rest of them and just kill the whole human race. Like, because... So when this guy's like, I know how to kill it, he is running back towards the captain. The captain, by the way, remember, is the girl's father. This guy's girlfriend's father. The guy's girlfriend's father, or just the admiral, doesn't know that these things can die this way. But this guy now does.
A little closer. Come on! Hey, kid! You tell Haley I think she'll be alright.
He's just seeing that he has a detonator. And you could say, Altiori, you're so dumb. He doesn't see that. Not from all those people in the way and the crowds and the zombie things. He can't see it, Altiori. Okay. If he can't see it, then why does he wait for the last minute to yell out, no? He's holding his hand up in the air with the detonator. It's obvious. And why would you hold up your hand in the air with a detonator? Like, if you're gonna detonate something, I mean, I guess the thing is right there in the room with you. The bomb is right there, so it's not like you're trying to get a signal. Why are you holding up dramatically in the air by your face? So other people can see that you have the detonator? I guess. And wouldn't he have been, like, a little more considerate in real life and been like, look, kid, I'm gonna blow myself up, so you may want to get out the room because you're still within the vicinity? But no, he's like, tell Haley that she's gonna be alright. That kid didn't know you had a freaking detonator, you wee Bob. For all he thinks, you're just saying that because you're sacrificing yourself being torn apart by those things. How the hell is he supposed to know that you have a goddamn detonator? And the kid waited to the last minute to tell this guy, no. Yeah, okay, kid, you registered that real early, but then you're like, no, please. Everyone's sad because the captain's dead. Then the alien fuses all the body parts from the blown up people that aren't people anymore, uses their parts to let itself into the reactor, or at least the captain's parts. Yeah, the big glowy red thing. They hear something roaring and they're like, what's that? Even though they know time is of the essence and these things are still about, they waste time asking that. The rest of the alien people who didn't get blown up are just sitting around the reactor and making it go faster by staring at it, because that's how you do things, I guess. I mean, if they needed the captain's hand to get into the room to get at the reactor, why aren't they using him to administer the controls? Like, it's either they have telekinesis or they don't. It's either they have the advanced intelligence to be able to unlock a door from the outside or they don't. Because if you can work this freaking light nuclear core thing by just staring the hell at it, why couldn't you open the freaking... Oh, never mind. Oh, God. Another thing I just thought of. Okay, so the alien is outside. It's not in here with these freaking people who look like they've just had their first dose of meth. I can't believe I said it like that. But the captain, his hand was used to get inside the thing, right? Or at least that's what they made it seem like. Captain's not in here with them, so how are they making the ship go faster if the captain is needed to make the core go, whatever. The main character with the curly hair is like, yeah, I gotta get Haley. And I'm sorry, what kind of CGI? Is this some kind of overlay background for creepypasta YouTube videos? What is with the CGI in this movie?
All right. Who wants barbecue?
What he's spraying is some kind of concoction with the corrosive acid stuff because that's the only thing that kills the aliens. The aliens know they're losing people, so they start waking up people from cryo, the regular passengers. By the way, that acid thing that's used to kill the aliens, because that's apparently only what kills them, like all of them, doesn't just kill the body, it kills the aliens that were inside them too. Unless they fuse or something. The big alien, that's the amalgamation of all those body parts, it doesn't kill it for some strange reason. I don't know why, but it doesn't. Because, you know, reasons.
Hi. We made it?
I hate it when people in movies do this. Our lives are in danger. Let's stop and kiss real passionately, like.
What is this for?
Just trust me. We have to go. Right now, we have to go.
Where is he?
She's asking where her father is. And why is he like, you gotta trust me? I mean, that to me, I'm like, okay, bitch, okay, I get it, but you can't give me something so I know what I'm walking into? Like, what if something happens to you? It might behoove you to let me know what in the hell's ass is going on, so if something happens to you, I can defend myself and have a freaking clue. So as my mother would say, ride and whistle, tell me as we walk. We're being attacked on the ship. Remember when I said this chick can't act? He tells her, she's asking, where's my father? What happened to him? And he tells her, and this is her reaction. I know that things are dire, but she's not been in there yet. Her adrenaline is not going as fast as this guy's is. This is her reaction.
He sacrificed himself so we could have a chance. Hey, I'm sorry, but we have to go, otherwise it'll be for nothing. Come on. Watch out.
What kind of editing? Did they cut that entire thing because it would be too hard to CG in the flames with, oh, for fuck's sake, dude, this movie's making me mad. Okay, not the least bit concerned that her dad's dead. No shock, no nothing. Like, no crying as you're going along, no look of shock, no look of processing the information, just, okay, I guess. Sucks to be you, Dad. You know, I'm not a great director. I'm not a great director at all. I'm not a good director at all. But what I do use well is my imagination. I can draw into myself to make myself cry if I'm getting into one of my characters. Because when I'm writing my characters for my stories or skits or POVs or whatnot, I feel what they feel. The real reason I have not gotten back to writing the Raptor story is because it scarred me. Like, to get to that place of utter sadness, of losing someone that you love, that shit got me. I really felt that. I'm sorry. Maybe it's some form of method acting, as they call it, but it tainted my soul and I felt toxic for a while, and that's the honest to God reason why I have not gone back yet. Part of the reason is I wanted to wait for Jurassic World Dominion to come out, and I'm just using that for a personal deadline. But the real primary reason why I didn't do it is because it messed me up. There. It was just too much. It was way too much. I'm very sensitive. I'm very emotional. And for people who aren't naturally like that, as the director, it is your job to draw on something that they can use to get to that point. For some people, it's easier for them to get to that point because they can empathetically tap in really easy. For other people, you have to give them scenarios. For others, you have to drive them insane, Stanley Kubrick style. How would you feel right now if I took your dog and twisted its neck? And you had to sit there and watch, and your dog was crying, and I was doing it real slow so you could hear all the bones crunching and stretching its jaw open at a 180-degree angle. And I made it watch you watch it. So it would know that you didn't do shit to help it. Because if you did do something to help it, I would kill your mom. Like, it's so weird. I know, you gotta go to some dark places. If people cannot get to that dark place of imagining loss, you have to bring them there. Real quick story time. I remember I was playing pretend with my little cousins, and they always looked to me for the entertainment because I was one that came up with everything to do. I was also the oldest kid, and I took my shit seriously, and they loved it. And my littlest cousin, I would push her, like, mentally and emotionally to that place. I don't want to say her name, but I would say, yeah, like, pretend her name is Stacy. Yeah, Stacy, your mom is crying. She's on the floor and blood is all around her. And I'm pushing her mentally, emotionally. And then I start shaking her and I start telling her it's your fault. It's your fault that she died because you didn't do anything to save her. And this little girl just starts crying. I think she was like 7 at the time. And she's crying hysterically like, and then I say to her, okay, now say whatever the words were I wanted her to say to her big brother. Because we were playing a movie, or our own movie. Back then I didn't have a camera, but we remember the experience. That was a movie we were making together, and we would keep that in our hearts and our imaginations. But god damn it, I wish I could go back and have my Sony Handycam, because that would have been great to catch. And my little cousin, Stacy, who did not know how to act, gave the best performance. I looked back, I was crying, my brothers were crying, my cousins were crying, her brothers were crying. And after she just hugged her brother because he was the one that I think he hurt her or something, like it was supposed to be him either saving her or betraying her. We did a lot of movies and pretend games back then. But she held on to him for a long time and kept crying even after everything was over. I didn't say anything. I just let it happen. We just all sat there for like a good 7 minutes crying and silent because that was some heavy shit. And for little kids who are not used to that, that was some heavy shit. But I brought them to that place. And yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but you know what? In that moment, she understood what loss was. Never dealt with death before, but she understood what loss was because I brought her to that place very vividly. She was real nice to her mom for a while after that too. Auntie came back and she was like, what did you do to her? And I told her the truth. And she's like, okay, all right, Mrs. Cinematographer, no more of that. Because this little girl has night terrors, which she did suffer from, and I didn't know that before that point, so that wasn't my fault. She wanted to play with us, not my fault. Anyways, that's what a good director would do. A good director would bring their actress or actor to that place if they can't get there themselves. And you keep doing it over and over until you get there. That's the difference between a high-quality movie and a cheaply made movie with not a lot of effort in it. And I don't want people coming for me to be like, oh, you're saying if they didn't put any effort into this movie. Maybe they did. But clearly it wasn't enough, or it would have been a better movie. And this, my friends, is where we get to see the alien in its full glory.
That is an ugly motherfucker.
Hey, we've got to go.
What in the toilet licking, dry humping shit is that? Oh god, okay, let me try and calm down for a second. Why did they make the monster look like a frickin' clothing basket covered in grease, my guy? I mean, that's what you could come up with? An alien from some other world that people made. And it looks like a slug. And when it combines human body parts together, it looks like this. Like the consequence of someone who has been impacted and constipated for a very long time, and they shoved a whole bunch of sticks down their throat hole to help with the fiber movement, and then that's what came out along with the sticks.
Hey, we have to go right back.
Okay. There's so many things I want to say about this movie. We're almost at the end.
Watch out. Fucking motherfucker! Escape pod.
I know they don't want to leave Clay, but if you're thinking about your family at all, why are you letting him tell you 3 times? What a horrible jump cut. Like, they do the shit out of that with these movies. Like, well, we can't afford it. We're too lazy to do the animations. Or we don't have the money. Don't tell me you don't have the money, because there are people who are really poor on YouTube who do animations like this. Yes, Shutter Authority. See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? This guy is one man. I'm pretty sure he's doing well for himself. But these people are a freaking studio, and they had enough money to hire Bruce Willis. Maybe they were depending on him being able to carry the rest of the movie so they could skirt the CGI. But if he can do it by himself, what is your excuse? You don't see any cuts at all with his animation. And I chose him specifically. There are many great 3D animators on YouTube, but I chose Shutter Authority specifically because he does CGI with real world components. That's his style. Look at that. He's on the left, and he is there with the animation. He cuts to where it's necessary, and half the time when Hulk does something with him, check it out, Hulk runs at him, and he is in the shot with Hulk as Hulk is doing things to him. If a regular YouTube guy can make masterpieces like what he's done throughout on his channel, why can't an actual movie studio do better? How do you have people on YouTube outperforming you? They can't even have the alien in the same shot. You never see the effects with people in the same shot. Boom! Let's just cut it real quick so it looks like the alien hit him, but let's not actually have him in the shot. See? Boom! The leg or hand or whatever the frick that thing is comes down. Bruce Willis is not in the shot. The frick are you paying him for? And okay, cue the stuntman to just be thrown into a freaking styrofoam wall. Maybe they're not styrofoam. I'm not a stuntman, so I can't say that. These people do get injured on the job, and they do make things look more believable. If that's Bruce Willis doing his own freaking tricks, I understand. That's pretty admirable. But being how old he is right now, I really doubt that. So yeah, you're wasting the stuntman's time as well. And then these freaking idiots, he sacrificed himself for them, and they're still sitting there. And of course, the alien is giving them all the time. Notice the alien was close enough to hit Bruce Willis. And they're just, instead of firing on the alien, which honestly doesn't work because the thing that they put inside those little canisters that kills the aliens in their human form or in the bodies mysteriously doesn't kill the one that's a coagulated gelatin mess. But they're not even trying. And the alien's just like, all right, I'm just gonna wait over here until you guys are finished saying your goodbyes. Just let me know. Just let me know when you're done.
Escape pod.
If you don't believe me, look how much time it takes for them to go, even though he sacrificed himself. And also, be aware that the guy who's standing there, I know he cares about Clay, but he's known this girl longer and she has a baby. You'd think that his father protective instincts would override his stupidity.
Clay! Clay!
Clay's not waking up. He's sitting there looking at him. Have you forgotten the girl with the baby? I know. She's easy to forget too, because of the lack of her acting skills. But Jesus.
Noah, we have to go.
Why did it take him so long to go with her? Holy God almighty, dude. And the monster is just like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait here. Or I'm gonna creep up real nice and slow. Y'all ready now? Because we need to get the shit on the road. The girl takes care of herself and it's a good shot, and that's somehow really amazing. And he just stands there looking like an idiot, even though time's of the essence. And is her belly bigger, or is it just me? In cryo, does your baby also grow? Isn't that a freaking problem? The monster is still on their heels, but moving at the speed of crawl. Man, even the CGI shadow looks horrible. He stops to give them some time to get away, even though the monster is basically moving at the speed of reverse. Everything's all convenient, like, why are you waiting till it gets closer to the freaking pod? Jesus Christ, man, I cannot with these characters. Ah, run away. Fire doesn't work on me, so why are you wasting your time? So he hits a thing on top and said, and during this time, even though the monster smacked other people that were merely 4 feet in front of it, it decides it's not going to do the same to him because, you know, plot armor. If there's smoke around, it can't see me, so I'm just gonna stand here and waste precious time I could be using to get into the pod. And there is the monster. Why did he wait all this time again? Why is he going closer to the monster? The girl was already in the pod. You could have launched off and closed it, and the monster would have to just sit out there and lick its balls. There's no reason for you to be here. Oh, I swear to freaking goodness, I really hate this movie the more I look at it. Oh my God, it could have been something so great, but you waste precious time, and we get like several more minutes of this. I mean, this entire scene right here is him just whiffing around, smelling his own farts in the mist, when you could have been on the pod already with your girlfriend. The monster could have gotten by you for all you know. And, you know, Again with those cuts. Again with those stupid cuts. Jesus Christ, man. And he fell really softly for someone who was thrown away. But you know, that's what he gets, because he was obviously asking for it. Because he wants to stay there as long as possible for some unknown reasons. Okay, so the acid doesn't work on this version of the alien, but now it does? Okay. He goes on the pod, which he could have done a very long time ago, and then some weird shit happens. It gets out, and they're trying to be all sci-fi with it. They're trying to be like, okay, let's see how we can make this more sci-fi and sublime. I know, make the alien kind of come out, but not look like the regular way it looked before. It now looks like a human, Mr. Manhattan looking bitch. And this is how you know this thing is full of shit, right? Look, I was like, yeah, he couldn't get on the pod, and the monster was gonna get him. You know, the monster is not that strong. They've proven already that this monster, even with its current body, can't just break through metal doors like that. Check it out. All this guy had to do was literally roll under the door and close it, and he would have been fine. This whole thing, they used 6 minutes to try and build some unnecessary suspense for the sake of building up drama because they were too cheap to actually make a good movie. They could have just... Time to go! Close the door! Really? Bitch, this entire time you could have just rolled under and closed the fucking door immediately? Wow, dude. Then the alien starts to self-massage its own back. I don't know what the hell's going on here or why that's even important to the movie. But don't worry, all things end happy because we get to see Bruce Willis. He's not actually dead, and we knew he wasn't going to be dead.
Hey, Stanley. How you doing? You're looking good.
I guess the ship, like, warped on itself or something? Then the ending of the movie, as if you could not be any more outraged with how stupid this movie was. And look, they may have been trying to make it like this on purpose, but I don't think so. They hired Bruce Willis, so I'm guessing they were trying to do some kind of Armageddon-type alien knockoff. But the end part of the movie was just ridiculous. They get to New Earth, right? And they get there quickly because they were using the light jump or hyperspeed, whatever you want to call it. Other people should have already been there. There are other ships that had landed there previously. So people should have been set up and living in a total paradise. First thing you notice is the planet is just in this blue hue. Just to make it look different, I guess. For no reason. See, I thought that alien sci-fi movies were done doing that. They see this little kid just randomly standing there, and of course, understandably, they ask him for help. Me, I would have been very paranoid, because just seeing that people could be aliens and look like themselves, even though I know that there's no way the aliens could have made it here. But nobody ever had the bright idea that these people who put the alien on this ship might have done it with the other ships that came before.
Hey, we're on the ship from Earth. We need help.
So they're staring at this kid like, oh god, this kid is infected. That is a problem. And then they are interrupted by a very loud noise on the horizon. This supersized monster fills up what we can see of the sky. And first of all, the monster's not very good. It looks disgusting, it looks cheesy, but it's their reaction. The dialogue throughout this movie was horrible, but it's their reaction to all of this, just like, what am I watching? What the hell are these people on? Maybe they're not feeling well. They hold hands, her belly is very small, and her water breaks. I don't know how her water breaks because when she went into the cryo thing, her belly was almost flat. Now it's like grown a little bit and her water's breaking, but how does that work if she was in cryo sleep?
No, it's a baby. What are we gonna do?
So, okay. This is the part that gets me. Kid is running towards them, obviously infected, but that's no deal, right? You know, you're not worried about this thing ripping to shreds, even though these things are super strong when they turn humans into this. Did I say humans? Whatever. They immediately turn around with their backs to the kid, back at the monster, who, mind you, doesn't even see them. Check out how corny this ending was. Like, they didn't know how to end this movie. how both of you aim your weapons at the monster that is very far away and also currently being engaged by other people in the air, but you completely forget about the capable, monstrous child running at you full speed behind you? The fuck? Oh my god, I did not expect the movie to be this bad. I thought it was gonna be cheesy, kind of like Independence Day. I didn't think it was gonna be like this. What in the ass hell? What are we gonna do as I'm getting contractions? Burn them all, baby. Let's both put our guns at the monster that's so far away, our very short-range weapons would never be able to reach it. It won't even reach more than 4 feet, but we're gonna aim at it instead of aiming at the fucking kid behind us. Jesus Christ. Why was this movie made? And why did Bruce Willis take, I'm not even gonna bother trying to understand the logic behind all of this. I think someone wanted to do something really fun, and this was their idea, and they probably weren't present for the shooting of the movie, and the people were like, wait, let me get this straight. You want basically Alien, but it's not Alien, and you want, like, gooey stuff mixed with Stranger Things? The guy who's drunk, who's a director, or whoever's in charge of this whole thing, is like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go take a vacation now. Okay, sir. That's what you want. And then this came out. You got people on YouTube that can make way better short videos than this. This would have been better. You know what? This would have been better as a YouTube video, to be honest. Because that's what you're expecting from YouTubers, not from studios. This is probably a smaller studio.
What is that?
See, like, that's from them as well. That's coming out this year. I think they would do better with drama films like that. Don't ever touch sci-fi films again unless you have a really good director with a vision. Because it doesn't seem to be your forte. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just being brutally honest. The movie sucked ass, and you wasted Bruce Willis' talent. I do commend them for taking Bruce Willis on, but Bruce Willis, can you read your stuff before you do, oh god. This was painful to watch. Most of it was boring, most of it was just nothing. Like Alien, at least you felt tension. This was just nothing. No tension, no memorable characters, no nothing. Just, oh my god. What happened? Whew. Okay, that was my review. That was very hard to watch. I didn't think I'd get so upset over it, but it's just like, they had potential, and they just took everything generic about an alien sci-fi space movie and made a papier-mâché version of it. I'm pretty sure the team put their whole heart into it, but it just came out looking like hot rat ass. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. But you guys can see for yourselves. I may be wrong. You can judge it for yourselves and see if you're going to enjoy it. If they had made a joke out of the whole thing, I think it would have worked. I think that people could have taken this as some kind of effort to be funny and cheesy, and they would have accepted it like Sharknado. It would have been another one of those. But it's how serious this movie was. Like, you can tell when they are very aware that they're stupid, the movies. I know, like, the movies are self-aware. You know what I mean? The studios are the people who put it together, the creators. But this seemed like they were really trying to make a great film. I could be wrong, because I've thought that about previous films before. You're like, no, they're just laundering. I'm like, okay, if you say so. But maybe I'm wrong, you guys. You tell me. Breach is available on YouTube to buy or rent, or you can rent it from Amazon using my affiliate link. Yes, I make like a few cents if you click on my link, and probably do some shopping. It's not much, but why not? I would rent this movie. I wouldn't buy this movie. It's not one of those things I want to own. Unless you're an aficionado for collecting really badly made movies for some unknown reason. Like if aliens come to Earth and you're like, let me show you the worst of our artwork that we've done over the years. And then you show them films like this. Anyways, that was very entertaining. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.